The Central Police Station compound, also known as Tai Kwun, located at Hollywood Road Central, is one of the Hong Kong's significant heritage revitalization projects. Tai Kwun, which was once a symbol of colonial power, comprises the former Central Police Station, Central Magistracy, and Victoria Jail. These buildings were gradually erected between the mid-19th and early 20th centuries. They were declared monuments under the Antiquities and Monuments Ordinance in 1995 because of their historical significance. Tai Kwun can be said as to be a microcosm of a part of history. It is not just a building. It is a physical archive of Hong Kong's complex journey from a British colony to a special administrative region of China. The projects allow us to explore the question of how cities can adaptively reuse historic sites. In order to gain a deeper understanding of it, we had a field trip to Tai Kwun to explore the architectural feature in the period of colonial Hong Kong and its history. In this video, we explore the history of Tai Kwun through old photographs, news reports, and articles to analyze its role and significance. Through the lens, step into the Tai Kwun of yesterday. Previously, Tai Kwun was composed of the former Central Police Station, Central Magistracy, and Victoria Jail, forming a rare all-in-one judicial system and the center of law enforcement in the period of colonial Hong Kong. Suspects should be arrested, tried, and imprisoned within the same area. This not only reduced the risk of escorting, but also psychologically create an absolute authority that had nowhere to escape. This design was extremely rare in 19th century Asia, reflecting the colonial government's pursuit of efficiency and control. Tai Kwun has not only witnessed social changes, but also played a part in many significant moments in the period of colonial Hong Kong. The development of Tai Kwun reflected the evolution of Hong Kong's population growth, social security pressure, and colonial governance in different periods. The rapid growth of the population of the early colony was accompanied by the higher level of crime and an increase in the number of convicts. Therefore, the redevelopment of Victoria Jail was based on a radical plan to increase jail capacity in 1862. Victoria Jail was extended once again in the 1890s with two new prison blocks erected on Old Bailey Street. Ho Chi Minh, the leader of Vietnam's independence movement, was detained at Victoria Jail in the 1930s, which shows that Tai Kwun also plays a role in international history. In December 1941, the Central Police Station compound was bombed by the Japanese army and was later occupied by them until the end of the World War II. The jail turned to detain Allied prisoners of war and anti-Japanese activists. For example, the Japanese arrested Tai Wang-shu for engaging in anti-Japanese activities. Tai was imprisoned in Victoria Prison, during which he suffered greatly both in body and mind from the torture inflicted on him. During his imprisonment, Tai wrote the well-known new poem titled Written on the Wall in Prison, which was an expression of fairness in the face of death. Furthermore, it symbolized the unwavering loyalty of the patriots during that era. Thus, Tai Kwun witnessed the dark period of the Japanese invasion of Hong Kong, So Tai Kwun is not only a participant in Hong Kong's social changes, but also a real witness to its historical transformation. From the perspective of architecture, Tai Kwun, as a building from Hong Kong's colonial era, not only embodied Western architecture styles, but also integrated Chinese and Western architectural features, prioritizing practicality in its design. For example, the backrack block was designed on the same principles as the British military backrest, which had a neoclassical facade that overlooked a parade ground. The design elements of it as veranda and ventilation grilles in the high ceilings are architecture adaptation to Hong Kong's subtropical climate. The police headquarters block incorporates local Chinese-style tilted roofs, Victorian and Edwardian architecture features, serving as an example of the fusion of Eastern and Western architecture arts. Moreover, to adapt to Hong Kong's subtropical climate, it was designed with the wide balconies and large windows to enhance ventilation. The letter G and R engraved at the center of the building refer to the reigning monarch, Geo Rex or King George V, aiming to show the power and authority of the colonial government. Although the building complex has a history of over a century, its restoration during the revitalization process adhered to the principle of preserving the historical original appearance of the structures. Therefore, we can still see Tai Kwun in its authentic form today. It is the recipient of the Award of Excellence in the UNESCO Asia Pacific Awards for Cultural Heritage Conservation 2019. After Tai Kwun completed its law enforcement mission between 2004 and 2006, the significance of Tai Kwun didn't fade with the end of colonial history. Instead, it gained new vitality. In 2008, the government and the Hong Kong Jockey Club announced a not-for-profit plan to revitalize the Central Police Station compound. After a decade of conservation and revitalization works, Tai Kwun was opened to the public in phase starting from 2018. 16 historic buildings in the compound have been preserved, while 2 new buildings of a modest scale have been constructed. namely JC Club and JC Contemporary, are designed by internationally renowned architects Associates Ltd, Herzog and De Meurer, and used as an auditorium and an art gallery respectively. The revitalization works show a blend of historic and modern. It does not simply replicate history. Instead, it enables architecture from different eras to form a visual dialogue, symbolizing the layered accumulation of history and encouraging people to reflect on the connection between the past and the present. We can see how the old and new can coexist. This function allows it to act as a platform for promoting local art and inspiring creative dialogue. In addition to preserving history, entering Hobby feels like stepping back into the Victoria Jail, where the lives of prisoners are recreated in front of our eyes, allowing us to personally experience what it was like to be in prison. Walking into Hobby is like engaging in a spiritual exchange with the prisoner of that time, understanding their states of mind in prison through their works. These 2 prison halls not only help us understand the conditions of the prison back then, but also make us cherish what we have today. And in the art gallery, There are different programs on display, such as screening, safe house, stay connected, navigating the cold and chilled steps, a whispering musical mentee. It not only provides a platform to promote local art, but also uses contemporary architecture and art to revitalize Asian stories, making them resonate with modern audience and provoke deep thought. This more clearly demonstrates that the site is not a static museum, but a place where history and the present engage in a continuous and creative dialogue. At the same time, its open squares and courtyards provide previous breathing space within the high-density urban environment, becoming an urban living room for citizens to relax, socialize, and engage in community activities, thereby fostering diverse social interaction. Here, where judicial power was exercised, you can now wine and dine. This is more than a meal. It is a conversation with history itself. This is the magic of Tai Kwun. Tai Kwun is a culture hub and public space infused with contemporary vitality. It is not a static museum. By incorporating art galleries and hosting contemporary exhibitions, performance workshops, and cultural exchange events, it successfully blends a historical site with creative energy. The revitalization of Tai Kwun has a similar concept with Akbar Arbar's concept of Dege Disparu from his book Hong Kong, Culture and the Politics of Disappearance, which means the feeling of something already disappeared. Tai Kwun can be seen as an attempt to preserve a site that was, in a functional sense, already disappearing as a colonial institution, now frozen and repackaged for a new era. The story of Tai Kwun teaches us that genuine historical preservation involves more than simply freezing buildings in time. Instead, it requires breathing new life into historical structures, enabling continuous dialogue and mutual evolution between past and present. Through its innovative approach, Tai Kwun has become a vibrant hub where history interacts dynamically with contemporary society, offering visitors both educational insights and recreational enjoyment while maintaining the site's historical authenticity and significance for the next generation.